All right. Shalom, Lord Christ, and peace, Officer Quasar Banya Howard Bayashra CPK. Right now, I'm located in Columbus, Ohio. Let me start by saying we're the ISPK, started on West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Jenny Hunter. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite groups. Okay, we stand alone. All right, so tonight, all throughout the nation, brothers are going to be teaching about brotherhood. Okay, and as we know, brotherhood is synonymous to sisterhood. All right. What is brotherhood, you might ask? What is sisterhood? Brotherhood and sisterhood is the quality of state of being a brother or a sister. All right. Who you are. Okay. That's what brotherhood is. And like I said, brotherhood is synonymous to sisterhood. Okay. So we're going to get into a couple different topics tonight. But primarily, I want to talk about how the laws of God keep you from going insane. Well, what do I mean by that? All right. Let's get a definition of insane. Insane, exhibiting a severely disordered state of mind, affected with insanity, unthinkable, unable to think in a clear or sensible way, crazy, used by typical of or intended for people having a severely disordered state of mind. All right, absurd. All right, so we can keep going when it comes to what insanity is. All right, so when it comes to the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians here in America, what things do we do that would make us seem insane? What things do we do? All right, you think about us utilizing certain types of drugs, okay, and becoming addicted to them. All right, being insane is a quality of state of doing something over and over and over again and expecting a different outcome. Okay, so what is it to be said about the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians? What is it said? What is it to be said about the Christian church? You know, where you can go and pay for your sins to be removed, supposedly. All right, the Christian church is there to lessen the debt that we owe the Most High, but we know that it doesn't actually do that. Okay, you're just putting your money to waste in some obscene bastard's pocket, you know, in the Christian church. All right. So keeping the laws of God keep us sane. All right. Keep us from going insane. Right. They keep us from doing things that we're not supposed to do, that we know we're not supposed to do, and expecting a different outcome. You can think about plenty of scenarios that you've been in or someone that you know have been in, whereas, you know, they keep doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. All right. Just because what you get with a bonus or a little bit of money in your pocket, you think that you're blessed. All right. I got news for you. The Lord doesn't deal with people who sin. All right. The Christian church will tell you that, oh, he hates the sin, not the sinner. I'm here to tell you right now, he hates both. Okay. So we're going to start off with Matthew 5:17. So if you're watching, please just don't listen. Pull out a pencil and paper, okay, and write these precepts down. All right, put on the full armor of the Most High, you know, through Christ. All right, write these precepts on the tablet of your forehead, man. Keep them in your mind. All right, they're here to help you. Okay, these are what keep you from going insane. Knowing the truth about the Bible, because the lies are there. The lies were here on this earth prior to the truth. All right. And just like any good parent, you want your children to do what? Listen and obey. And when they don't, they run into all kinds of issues. All right. And those issues, generally speaking, lead to us having cognitive distortions, man. Cognitive dissonance. We have a lot of mental health issues in the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian communities. All right. So we're going to get a precept. It's Matthew 5:17. Okay. It says, think not that I am come to destroy the law. All right. So that means think not. There's plenty of things you'd rather not think about, especially when you're eating. You know, when I was growing up, you couldn't say something nasty while, you know, your brother was eating cereal. It gross him out. Like, come on, bro. Like, so you don't even want to put those thoughts in your head or someone else's. So right here, it's written in red. So that's Yahushua speaking. All right, Christ, for those of you who don't know, says, "Think not that I am come to destroy the law, all right, or the prophets." Okay, those prophets of old, all right, that's the Old Testament. You think about where the Christian church or pastor say, "Well, that law was done away with." It's saying right here, "Think not that I have come to destroy the law or the prophets, the givers of the law." They're all found in the Old Testament, right? And then we have a quotation mark, or it's a continuation. It says, "I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill." Okay, when you fulfill something, you do what is necessary to what? Make something happen. All right. I always use this analogy, like, or example, where it's called the Amazon Fulfillment Center. You go online, you type in whatever it is that you're looking for, you search it out, and then you do what? You click buy. You buy it. You buy it, and you expect it to come where? To your home or to your P.O. box, right? And the name relegates the actual service, fulfillment. Your needs have not been fulfilled if you purchase a package and it never shows up to your house. All right. So when you talk about the Amazon Fulfillment Center, Amazon's job is to make sure that you get your package, right? Right here, we're reading that it says, "I have not come to destroy, but to fulfill." Okay. All right. So we're talking about the law not being destroyed. Verse 18, "For verily, certainly," verily means certainly, "I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or tittle shall no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled." Now, if you woke up this morning, like the old Christian pastor song, "I woke up this morning, put my feet on solid ground, had bread upon my table, I know my God is able." If you were able to stand up on the ground, right, and then look up to the sky and see that none has passed away, then certainly, right, it says that no wise, not one jot or tittle, the dotting of an I or the crossing of a T, shall pass from the law. Okay. So this law is valid. All right. And just like the title, these laws, statutes, and commandments keep us safe, keep us sane. Understand, they keep us protected by the Most High. All right. 19. "Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments," all right, whosoever. That means your mama, your daddy, the drug dealer, the child molester, the murderer, whosoever. We're talking about the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians. Most people think about the whosoever when it comes to John 3:16, but when you get context, you understand that he was speaking to a specific audience, just like he is right now. So it's talking about us Negroes, all right? That's the whosoever is. "Shall break one of the least commandments and shall teach men to do so." All right. It says, and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. Okay. So there's a reason why we're doing what we're doing. All right. And it's to what? Rule in the kingdom of heaven. All right. Everything that's here on this earth is going to come to pass. All right. So contrary to what you were taught in the Christian church, when caught up in the rapture and God's going to be coming back, slow singing and flower bringing and singing kumbaya, that's not what's going to happen. Thermonuclear warfare is what's going to happen. All right. This place is going to be destroyed. And you along with it, if you don't keep these laws, statutes, commandments. How do we know this? Because we're destroyed right now as a people. Okay. That's why mental health is a thing. Keeping these laws, statutes, commandments will keep you from picking up that nasty blunt, right? Throwing off, your neurological synopsis so that what? You can't think straight. And your mind's just going 100 miles an hour, and your ganglia and your brain aren't doing the jobs that it's supposed to. So now you have an issue with going to sleep or having self-control, right? So instead of having adaptive behaviors, positive adaptive behaviors, you form maladaptive behaviors, okay? And because those bad habits, you think selfishly and only care about yourself. So now, in order to go to work, you have to do what? Get high. You got to smoke. I got to smoke before, after, whether it's weed or tobacco. You got to snort your little cocaine, get your little tooski going. You know what I'm saying? And people that have more serious addictions when it comes to like opioids, or hallucinogens, all right, aerial, colo, uh, hexamines, which are hallucinogens. Okay, now you're trying to do something because you want to skip the hard work it takes and skip the suffering it takes to form positive adaptive behaviors. So now that maladaptive behavior you have is based off reward system. Okay, now you know that if you get high, your brain's going to reward you with a lot of dopamine and serotonin. So now you're just feeling good instead of dealing with what you're supposed to and keeping these laws, statutes, commandments. You rather get high, float through life, eat good, smoke good, drink good, whatever. You know, there's nothing wrong with drinking, but there is something wrong with being a drunkard. That goes against the laws, statutes, commandments. All right. So if you're passing out, getting drunk, beating your wife, spitting on your kids, being a nasty bastard, then understand drinking may not be for you. And you might need to tone it down. No, absolutely, you do need to tone it down. Okay. And we're talking about these things because, like I said before, keeping these laws, statutes, commandments will not only keep you safe and sane, all right, they'll keep you in the favor of the Most High. And He'll answer your prayers for once because He doesn't hear the prayers of sinners. Okay. It says, but whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. And this is what we learn in the ISUPK up around the Commanding and Junior High. All right. He teaches brothers all over the world how to stop smoking dope. All right. How to stop being selfish bastards, how to stop being whoremongers, how to stop being liars, how to stop being murderers, and what have you. All right. And this is a glorious thing. You talk about a man who knows how to be a servant. All right. Because if you're not being a servant, you're being selfish. Because you think that what you have is more important than the next man. And that's the issue when it comes to us so-called Blacks, Hispanic, Native American Indians. We're always waiting for somebody else to do what you want to have done for yourself. So while you're waiting for somebody to do what you're not willing to do, they're never going to come. So instead of being a selfish bastard, how about you do what you would want to have done for yourself? Show your brother and sister that compassion. Because if we don't do it, what are we going to keep voting at the voting polls? Think it's going to happen? It's never going to happen. That's what you call insanity. Thinking that the oppressor is going to do what? Love you after you've trimmed your ways? Your mom said, oh, you can't you got to cut your hair. You can't get no braids. Shave your beard. Want you to look like this old Salakia. Want you to look like this devil, the deceiver, because in their day, if you didn't, you couldn't get a job. Now you can be partakers in the alternative lifestyle and make it big, being a content creator, but whatever for that, you can't be who it is that the Lord said you're supposed to, perfect in all your ways. You can't have those goals in your mouth. You don't get no good job. Understanding we trim our ways to seek their love, and they have a perpetual hate towards us. All right. So there's something that we're supposed to do that the Christian church says you can't do. All right. And we're going to slide on over to Matthew chapter 5, verse 48. And it reads in red. When we say red, hey, shalom to everybody checking in the chat. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah to the brothers. Yahshua Thabah Shem Yahshua to the sisters. All right. Matthew 5 and 48. It says, be ye therefore perfect. Now, if Yahweh Shah is saying that you can be perfect, who is your big pantsuit wearing Steve Harvey looking pastor, to tell you that you can't be perfect? Someone who also tells you that what? The law's done away with, right? And so you keep doing what? Going to get baptized. That's insanity. You keep doing the same things you did prior to getting dipped in that nasty, dirty pool of water at your church. Now you wonder why you got an ear infection. And what? Just to come out and be a what? Wet sinner with an ear infection? What's the point of that? That's what you call insanity. Dipping you in water is not going to, change your mind about the sins that you commit. But knowing these laws, statutes, commandments, it will. So like I said, Matthew 5 and 48 says, be therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven. Oh my goodness. That's inspiration. That's motivation. So I don't want to hear no big head, Oh, brother who always thinks he knows something, counting pages to the Bible, telling you about self-help and all the extra stuff, tell you can't be perfect because right here we just read it in Matthew 5 and 48. That's motivation. If you want to talk about I never had a male role model in my life, I never had a positive female role model in my life, what good would it do you if you can't keep these laws, statutes, commandments? Those choices that we make cause us cause us to have mental illnesses because we think that the law is done away with because we rather do what? Skip the adaptive behaviors and doing what's necessary, even if it makes us feel a little uncomfortable and cause a little pain. We want to go straight to the reward system. And every time we do that, you take the risk, but it's not worth the reward. You might be high for a couple of minutes, but every time the police get behind you, you have PTSD, and you think, what, you're going to jail. I'm telling you right now, if they get behind you and the car smells like weed, or you've been drinking and you drunk out your mind, you're going to jail. You're going to jail. So get this precept in your system, man. It's motivating, just like your Father is in heaven. All right. It says, "Be therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect." So stop lying to yourself. All right. That's number one. Number one cause of mental illness is we lie to ourselves. We deceive our own selves. And for what? For what? Think about it. Ask yourself that. Next time you're rolling up a blunt and you hear the truth and you're damn near in tears, and then what happens? Those demons in your head tell you, well, listen, you ain't just spend all that money for no reason. Go ahead, just smoke the rest of it. No, that could be your last blunt. That was Takeoff's last blunt. And he ain't rolling no more now. Matter of fact, let's go to, give me a second. You know what I mean? Because there is absolutely something that you're supposed to do. We're going to go back to Deuteronomy. And this is what you call milk scriptures. All right. Milk scriptures, Deuteronomy 28. It tells you exactly. And to be recognized because of our sins and because of the curses is something that is not only embarrassing, but it is the way. Because we chose not to listen to our Father, you know what I'm saying, who is in heaven. All right. There we go. So this is Deuteronomy 28 and 1. All right. So it says, "And it shall come to pass, meaning these things shall happen, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all the nations." All right. So if you wonder why those stinking Hamites have all those businesses, whereas they're charging you $1 for a blunt, laughing and just kikiing it up. Like the name is Kiki. When you're getting high out your mind, trying to hit the lottery, and you're putting money in their pocket so they can fund their kids' college tuition. You wonder why. It says it right here. If you will hearken diligently, meaning listen, just like when you paying attention to where your girlfriend's going and what she's typing, who she's texting on the phone. If you pay that much attention to these laws, such as commandments, just as if you hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, meaning your power to observe, right, to pay attention to, and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth. Doesn't matter how much money you have. All right, you're still in hell. All right, that's a condition. Regardless, nobody cares about how much money you have. What was it? What's the other boy name? Takeoff, Quavo, Offset. Offset. Police didn't give a damn about him being Offset from the Migos. They him this black ass up on his Lamborghini truck. The Bible says you have a perpetuate for you. Knowing that, right? There is something that you're supposed to do, and that's keep these laws, statutes, commandments. These are what keep us from going insane. Nobody wants to accept the fact that without these laws, you might as well, hey, listen, don't get mad when somebody breaks in your house and steals all your stuff. Don't get mad when somebody crashes into your car and they ain't got no insurance. You know what I'm saying? They say F you and drive off. You know what I mean? You don't get justice by not following these laws, statutes, and commandments. All you get is insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. Now you're mad because what? You believe that the law was done away with. You can't keep God's laws. You can't expect yourself to do what? Keep the laws of the land. Where in the world is that even possible? You can't keep these laws and say, man, listen, don't eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, right? Because if you do, not only will you have physical health issues, understanding that those crustaceans are full of parasites, you're going to have mental issues as well. You say, well, I don't smoke no weed, I don't do no dope, but you eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. That's why your head all screwed up. Now you have cognitive dissonance because you think that because you don't smoke weed, you're not going to be crazy, supposedly, right? But you're eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. On parasites, tearing up your stomach, all up in your neurological stem, and just cause you just what? Hell. You wonder why you're anxious, paranoid. Blood pressure is the least of your worries because you think that you eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. There's a reason why the Bible says we're not supposed to eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. Understand that. And when we do it, you get not only physical, like you get mental issues that come along with it. So you mean to tell me that you think just because you eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, you don't have high blood pressure? Oh, big whoop, right? You're not having an allergic reaction. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting your leg cut off. So you think you can go down to the low food shrimp crab boil and get you a big bag with the corn and the boiled eggs and potatoes and the crab legs and the shrimp. You think because you have no physical effects that are knowledgeable to you that you're able to eat it still. You're not, because you're going to have issues with your cognitive responses because of all those parasites that you just gladly suck from an oyster or the shell of a nasty shrimp, man. Come on. I know a lot of us got roaches too. If you be doing all that, wait, listen, don't buy no raid, man. For what? For what? You don't put raid on your lobster you eat, and they're cousins. They're closely related. So instead of buying raid or them roach traps, they just hold your bag open, collect you a couple hundred, all right, and go ahead and get you some of that Be Delicious, Smack Delicious sauce, and go ahead and put on them roaches and have at it. Have at it. You're not listening anyway. You know, nobody wants the law, to be on their side when everything's going their way. But as soon as something happens to your black behind, you want the law to be on your side. You know what I'm saying? You want to do all the things that aren't conducive to a healthy lifestyle. But as soon as something happens to your black behind, or let's say your mama, oh Lord, please. That's the first name you cry out for. Lord, please. What you calling for the Lord for? Because you ignored him when he told you to keep all these laws, statutes, and commandments. Now you got to worry about Deuteronomy 28 and 15. So we're going to scroll on along, and I'm reading out the KJV. All right. Hey, nigga. Hey, shalom, Lord Christ, warrior. How you doing, G? Shalom, y'all. So we're going to see what happens when you don't keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, and why we're identified by these curses, all right? This is Deuteronomy 28 and 15. Okay, it says, but it shall come to pass, meaning these things will happen, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, meaning your power. Like you hearken to everything else. You hearken to that crazy baby mama of yours, don't you? You listen to everything she say. And it's not like you're doing it because, you're being smart. You don't want to be put on child support or you're keeping the peace. You're guarding against your mouth. You're doing it because you're a weak bastard. All right? Flat out. You're a coward. You're scared to put your head against her forehead and say, hell no, I ain't doing it. You're scared to call her a bitch, even if she needs to hear it. But when it comes to the Most High, you say, oh, what? I love the Lord. Anyways, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, meaning your power, to observe, right? You observe a lot of things, when your significant other's walking through the grocery store, you try to check to see who she looking at. Some shit at it. It says to observe and to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee, right? Those curses are what cause mental illnesses, all right? Because when you have the breath of life, what was given to Adam, and you know how to maneuver throughout the highways and byways, in the cities and in the fields, you know, you have to worry about that. You don't have to be anxious or worrying about some op trying to smoke you because what? You don't have any because you were diligent and you kept the laws of the land. You kept the laws of the Most High through Christ. But because you did it, now you're cursed. And it says, "Cursed shalt thou be in the city, cursed shalt thou be in the field." Man, there's no place that you're going to run and hide. After you ate that goddamn shrimp, after you celebrated your birthday, after you celebrated Christmas, all you're doing is pushing a shopping cart, you know what I'm saying, through hell, just throwing sin after sin after sin into your basket. Well, when you're done doing that, it's going to be time for checkout. And when it says, "Hey, listen, think not that I've come back to spend peace. I've not come back to spend peace, but a sword," you're going to stand with your head cut off. Because while your pastor was taking your money, trying to sleep with your wife, feeling on your mama's butt behind your dad's back, they at home arguing because she listened to another man, you could have been in the ISUPK and the Commander Junior Hunter, getting these laws, statutes, commandments, understanding these precepts, being taught what to do and how to do it. Not like Kyrie Irving or Kanye West, who didn't even pay tithes to this truth. Now, because they're not behind these gates, which aren't languishing, they're dealing with the oppressor. Like, make no mistake, what we do, it's not for everybody. And even faking it, you could lose your life or lose millions of dollars. How the hell did a bank give you back? You're a billionaire today, but because you made a statement, now you're what? Barely a millionaire? They took Kyrie Irving's shoes from him and gave it to Ja Morant. So keep that in mind, all right? When you're realizing that, damn, man, why do I keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again? Because you're insane and you're going insane because you didn't listen to the voice of the Lord. You didn't hearken to the voice of the Lord to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, man. And it's very important, all right? So with that, I'm going to go ahead into class and read these announcements because I got to get about this library. The water to all the brothers and sisters that tune in. My mom, my dog, good to see you, brother, in the chat. What Dom, Sister Chris, Sister Tamila, the water to everybody. If you got any questions, ISUPK, Columbus Israelites, you can go on Facebook, type your questions in, and we'll get to them next week, all right? So with that, this security announcement. We are the ISUPK, starting on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister coming to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. That's it. Shalom. That's what that means. Don't mean going in the inbox and be trying to DM them and break these laws that we have here for specific reasons. All right. Because if your camp leader finds out you end up in a camp council with General Muhammad, it's all bad. All right. It says they are here to shed themselves of the world. All right. Micah 2:10. All right. It talks about coming out of the world, not being a part, be in the world, but not of the world. Micah 10:2 talks about that. 2:10, Salakia. Okay. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister is interested in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which a brother or sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. All right. We got to vet this process. All right. Sex is good. It feels great. Understand that. All right. But you got to know who you laying in the bed with, brothers. You know, this bitch could be fucking crazy. I mean, Salaki, this sister could be crazy. All right. And now you gave her some. She's the best she ever had. She's slashing your tires at your job with a baby, you know, and doing whatever else. When it comes to sisters, this brother could be crazy. He might be Ike turning in the flesh, beating you all upside your head and, you know, doing whatever else. So that process is important. All right, tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3, 8 through 10. So if you are watching and you still go to church and your pastor says, oh, you know, whatever, this is where you find it at. All right, it means a tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to General Mayaka Allah or your teacher. Are we supposed to pay the tithes to the ISUPK because that's how you build a nation? So when your pastor tells you to pay tithes, that's a part of the law. So don't let him lie and tell you that the law is done away with. Now you're insane. going crazy, you know, you know where to find it at. Salakia. All right, priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory whatsoever. Amount you would like to give. All right, the upcoming holy convocation is Purim. All right. Remind Akim and Akwati to check the bulletin board in the hallway. You just go online and check the Facebook page. We got Facebook, we got YouTube, we got Instagram for sure, and TikTok. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, and pants without a margin, which means to stand. We'll put your hakodomis, turn and face the east. I'm already facing the east. We're gonna go through the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. So this is our tradition. This is our language. So I don't know if you can see me. Just follow along and do the best you can. Sisters, if you're tuning in, make sure you have your head covered. You know, brothers, you got a war scarf or something put on your head. And we're going to go ahead and read the Lord's Prayer, which is found in Matthew 6, 8-13. All right. Habanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malak with Ka, Baba'ah, Ratazayaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba Ratazah, Kawa, Hayah, Mashamayim, Nathan Lanao, Lakam Ka, Yawum, Wasalak Lanao, Kabawafi now, Kasalak Lanao, Kabawafi now, Wala'ah, Tabayaya now, Banasaya 1, Abol, Hawashaya now, Mayan, Rai, Laka, Hamalaka, Hamalakwa, Salakia, Waha Allah, Waha Thap Ha'arath, La'ai Walamyam, Aman. All right. In English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. I think we got time for one more. This is the prayer for the Hakat, the power. Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Ba'akashah. Nathan Lanao, Hakat, La Rapa'ah, Kal, Makala'ah, Wakal Marawa, Hakat, Latahar, Matazarayim, Hakat, La Hakwayim, Hamathiam, Hakat, Rakawath, Hatama Allah, Lagarshim, Ba'ashim Yahweh Ba'adamah. What I just read was, Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the leper, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits to cast them out. Name Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. All right, so with that, I got to get up out of here. But if there's anybody in Israel or tuning in right now who knows someone who is having mental health issues, please take the time out to talk to those brothers and sisters. You can log on to our TikTok and be posting content. Mental health is just as serious as getting the swine flu or influenza or COVID. All right. You know, people hurt themselves and commit suicide. So please take it serious. It costs you nothing to listen and to have compassion for a brother or sister. All right. Understand that. So with that, shalom.